Thank you, Madam President. Tonight I'd like to speak about the CRCs, and I do understand that there are needs for budget cuts this year, and I do understand that we have to all tighten our belts. But I just need to impress once more upon the members in this chamber how important these CRCs, these community resource centers, are to the regional areas. We've been talking a lot about the regions today, and I understand well why we need to. These resource centers provide so much to their communities. I went to visit a few of them over the summer, and at one, Walpole, where the whole population of the town is only about 450 people, 23 people showed up because they were so concerned that something's going to happen to their CRC. At different places I went to, and I heard the different activities and the different services that they provide. You know, it's not just as simple as, well, we can do that on an app, so we'll show you how to call up the Centrelink app and everything will be fine. We're talking about a lot of people in these communities who still may not even have a computer in their home, still will not be carrying an iPhone, still don't actually understand how to use an app or how to download an app, and really want that social experience as well. I'm going to come back to that. The other services, they provide different training opportunities for young people, for old people, for people who just want to learn something. They provide all sorts of different activities. In Pemberton, I heard where you couldn't get a good cup of coffee a few years back, and the new CRC manager said, well, that's okay. We'll open it up and teach a barista course here. And when they found they were going through all their students and they still wanted to be teaching this, she realized there were a lot of Chinese tourists in the area. So she started getting the course taught in Mandarin. So we now had a lot of Chinese tourists who could make a good cup of coffee as well. Now that's the sort of initiative that a lot of these centers take. And I understand that some of the centers may not be working as well as others. They're variable. They have different people working in them, different communities supporting them. But to go about it by saying, well, you know, we're going to cut the funding by 40%, from 14 to 8 million, and then we'll do a review to see how we're going to share it around, seems a little bit backward. You know, if you come out there and you've done a review and you've said, well, look, these ones aren't working, or these ones the community is ready to give up, or these ones are open too many hours, that might be different. But to just cut the funding and then go back and see how you're going to spread it around doesn't seem fair, and it is not a good idea. As I said, these provide a social hub in the community. Think of the value that they provide by having a place where people can go to. Maybe it is to get some sort of a health, not so much a checkup, but to discuss things, to learn about their health, to learn about the things that they need to do to make sure that they stay healthy. It's preventative sort of stuff. It's preventative in the way that it gets people talking to each other and learning what they need to do so they can go out later and find their health care person and work out ways to stay healthier. They may have physical activity type opportunities. So there's all sorts of things, and I could go on for an hour about the things that these community resource centers provide, but that's not the point. What I really want to get to is we were told that this was cut from 14 million back to 8 million to put it in line with where it would have been had we not given such a big increase back around 2010 or 11, 2012, something like that. But there was a reason for that increase. The community resource centers had been running with a lot of volunteer labor, with a lot of women who were willing to work at a much lower rate than they should be paid. And there was a thing called the Equal Remuneration Order that came out that they were supposed to own up to, that they were supposed to be paying their staff a reasonable wage. So if we go back now, I mean, first, one thing they're concerned about, and Link West has put it up tonight, currently there was a request to put the minimum wage up by 7%. Now, how are they going to absorb that next July if their funding has been cut? What we'll see is either people that have been employed there will leave and we'll have to find others who are willing to work at a lower rate, lower than the minimum wage, lower than whatever they have to get somebody in there, or they will have to cut their hours. Now, cutting their hours is not only going to hurt the staff that are employed there, but all the people that use that community resource center, all the people that depend on that for their ability to mix with others in their community, to find out what's going on, to reserve a room in case they have to have a meeting face-to-face for some legal or medical reason that they can't do elsewhere. There are just so many benefits provided by these community resource centers, and we're talking about $14 million across 105 centers. To me, that's very good value. That's the sort of stuff we should be looking at. If the government could actually work with the communities, we could go back to an era where people did volunteer by choice, where people were happy to be out there doing some of the work that we now expect government to provide. But we have to work with them. We can't just cut them off and say, you got to pay everybody the full rate, but you can't have so much money, so they're only going to be able to work a few hours. That does nobody any good. You know, to have somebody end up earning the same amount of money for a 20-hour period, or when they would have worked a 37.5-hour period at a lower rate, it's just not fair. It's just not what I think this government expects to be saying to those community resource centers. If you're saying to them, go back to paying people less than they deserve, at least be clear about it. If you're saying to them, cut their hours, then you'd need an explanation for those communities, because those communities depend on those resource centers. And unless you have a clear report saying to you which ones or why they should be cut, and maybe we will see that. It's supposed to be out in June or July. But if it doesn't come out that way, if it says these centers are really valuable, I expect to see that money back in the budget. I know it's, we're trying to keep it low, but we've got to reward the areas that are working well, and the community resource centers are working well.